Once upon a time, in a land not so far away, there was a little boy. That boy had many, many friends, and they hung out together all the time, like friends do. However, under all that innocent sense of masculinity they felt, taking on the role of Superman one day, another hero the next, that boy knew he was different. Not differences he felt ashamed of per se, but ones he wasn't sure would be accepted. So, under the safety blanket of the four walls of his room, he would try on his sister's dresses, get dolled up with his mother's makeup. He felt pretty. That boy turned 5, and boy, was he ready to start going to school. So excited for how people would react. He wore his favorite dress, his favorite accessories. The best accessory being his smile, which showed that he was proud of his appearance. Only for that feeling of ecstasy to be washed away by a teacher, calling him out in front of his class. Not exactly reprimanding him for what he wore, but saying enough to let the others know that it wasn't the norm, that boys weren't allowed. Confidence is a fragile thing, and that poor kid's was shattered. That was the first and last time he felt like his true self was good enough. Hi, my name is Vedini Langar, and although that is in my story, it certainly is one that is very prevalent in society, whether it be foreign or ours. It's one that shows how expression is judged, how expression is restricted, because the need of putting children in a box which allows only certain rules of freedom has been overvalued to the point where education systems don't feel the need to change the stigma. And to a certain point, that's understandable. We don't speak up about the problem because we're too afraid to be scrutinized. And it's given that if awareness isn't created, then how will changes be made? But the underlying issue of schools not allowing their children to do certain harmless changes to their physical appearance is very much important. And that is what I wish to highlight. Hopefully, my stand to give my opinion and my side of the story will inspire and encourage others out there to do the same, encourage my friends. I want to use examples of limitation as a forum for schools to hear those voices which wish for reforms. The first example that I want to give is of uniforms, prescribed pieces of clothing which we are required to wear, like I'm wearing right now, and we can't break the rules. Now this is a rule which I personally feel is helping remove barriers, because in a place where your caste and your financial status do shape your social standing, the competition which would arise where kids would show off the brands they're wearing, etc., is removed, and it helps in creating an atmosphere of uniformity. However, with this uniform, we still aren't allowed to do certain changes to our appearance which help in making a person happy and being able to explore their personality and myriads of things. If we open our hair, we're told to tie it up. It doesn't look neat. If we dye our hair, we're made to cut it off. It looks crazy, we're too young, and the one we hear the most. We should not experiment with how we look at this age. If boys have long hair, they're made to cut it off. If they have a beard or a mustache, they're made to shave their face because it looks unruly. I don't want to spark hate against certain structures created because yes, of course they're created for a reason. But why is it that we are made to reverse all the features that we use to make ourselves look unique in our own ways? What's the harm in letting children change things about themselves which only favor self-growth and spark joy? Things which don't damage the way we learn, the way we grow up to be. Why is it that if wearing funky jewelry or having a nose or ear piercing that only makes someone feel good about themselves is discouraged by administrations? Why is it so? One summer, I dyed my hair, thrilled to show all my friends. The next day, I went to school, and many teachers told me to cut it off. A few teachers also told me that I should dye it back to its original color, which got me thinking. The problem is not with hair dye. The problem is with colors like red or blue, whereas colors like brown or black are not labeled as crazy. I have 5 piercings on each ear. I would love to have one on my nose, and so would my friends, but we have to master the act of hiding it. I don't blame the teachers, I blame the lack of a need of changing the rules. Something as simple as colored nails and makeup, which makes someone feel a certain way, is made into a huge problem. The talk about those two on boys is even more hushed. We need to change that. Another example I want to give is that uniform for boys and girls in many schools is different and stereotyped. Boys should wear pants and shorts, and girls should wear dresses and skirts. Don't get me wrong, I'm blessed to go to a school where I'm not restrained as such. But what about the girls who wish to wear shorts and the boys who wish to wear dresses, especially in rigid government and boarding schools? Yes, it is not the standard, but how will new standards ever arise when we aren't allowed to step out of the typical zones? For a boy who wishes to wear a skirt or wear lipstick, he has to morph his personality and his fashion sense. Yes, if the expectations are altered, there comes the argument of judgment and bullying. But in 2020, where the world is thankfully growing to be progressively libertarian, small steps towards acceptance are needed. They're welcome. The last example I want to give is of dress codes. Personally, that is not very prevalent in my country since we wear uniforms, but the day when we can wear home clothes to school, we have to rack our brains to come up with looks that are both impressive. We're all trying to fit in our own ways and fit the code, which is especially hard for many boys and girls as it stops them from being able to have their own fun. I wanted to be more educated on the whole system of dress codes, so I spoke to my cousin in Texas who has often complained about the strictness of it all. She mentions how your straps can't show, your shirt has to cover your collarbone, your clothes can't be fitted, your shorts have to be longer than your fingertips, sometimes below your knees, and restrictions so limited, targeting things so minor that it makes me wonder how many kids must feel helpless in being able to show who they really are because their clothes can be too revealing. We call ourselves liberals. We say this generation is open-minded. Then why is the argument the boys will get distracted still being used as an excuse of sexualizing people? Why is it that boys in American schools hardly get scolded and a girl has to cover her shoulders? I want to end my talk by saying that the point of it is really not to rebuke schools and say that they make children feel trapped. A school is a fun and loving space. I love my school. It gives me great education. It's given me lifelong friendships. However, there's a difference between what is harmless and what is obscene, and those lines should be drawn a little straighter, so that for that boy in the story and for every little boy and girl out there, they don't have to feel like their real identity won't be loved or their real identity is offensive. Thank you.